In AI for marketing today, I will just cover a few topics and not really try to add to the hype and cut down on the noise. Try to provide as much as sense as possible. Okay, so what you're seeing out here is a basic profile of Vitally Wise, our company. So as Sandhya introduced, we are a digital and AI business. Our focus has been on digital transformation, and our vision has been to create a better digital future for organizations of all sizes. So in my experience with these brands, IBM, Dell, EMC, Cognizant, of course, I've been working with the C-level, and at many times I felt that there's a digital divide which is happening for organizations, especially those at the SME level. So I started out on a mission to create a digital platform and help organizations of all sizes to take the benefit of, I would say, digital transformation. So moving on to the next slide, just a quick, in terms of my personal branding, of course, there's a quite bit of a place I'm available, whether it's my website, my blog, email, Instagram. Feel free to connect to me and follow me. And of course, you can also look at the chatbots powered by AI. That's my corporate chatbot. And we are, you could also chat with the particular chatbot out over there. So I've been talking to marketers worldwide, right? CMOs, marketers, and what I have constantly seen is that everyone feels that AI is going to revolutionize the business, and everyone is, of course, worried about what is going to happen to the field, what you can call in the space of marketing itself. So while people are gung-ho about saying that, okay, 80% of the marketers are actually feeling that, AI is going to revolutionize marketing as we know it. But when you look at this picture, and this is what I show in most of my keynote sessions, this is exactly how marketers worldwide are feeling, right? Right now, in terms of marketing as a discipline, it seems to be very smooth sailing. Yes, there is something around marketing technology, automation, email automation. But at the same time, they're also having a lurking fear that possibly AI is going to revolutionize, and potentially most of us are going to lose our jobs, or maybe there are new jobs for which the skill sets we're not going to have enough, right? Before I deep dive in terms of AI for marketing, let me give a brief background. I'm sure many of you would be aware of the background for artificial intelligence. The common consensus as to what is artificial intelligence has been, as far as experts are concerned, is intelligence displayed by machines. Way back in 1950, Alan Turing, our famous computer scientist, he posed a very interesting question: can machines think? Which led to the Dartmouth College, where a couple of experts, industry experts, came together and formed the first academic discipline around artificial intelligence. And there was a period of extreme hype. But then after a few years, we called the period as AI winter, because people were very disillusioned by the hype created by AI, and there's literally nothing happening. And the next biggest milestone was in 1985, when the AI and related systems market was estimated to be about $1 billion. So that's a background in terms of AI, where it originally started. And when you really look at the opportunity as of today, again, looking at most of the predictions, whether it's by Gartner or IDC, any well-known analyst, and here I'm quoting you figures from a recent Accenture study, where it says that the profitability for organizations is going to go up by about 38% by the year 2035. There's going to be an economic boost for about 12 developed countries to the extent of $14 trillion by the year 2035. And the gentleman you see in the picture is a very famous AI scientist. He is a Googler, ex-Googler, ex-Baidu, and he's also the co-founder of Coursera. He has gone so far to say that AI is the new electricity. And when you actually look at what even Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, has mentioned, he is saying that AI is going to be more important than even electricity or fire. Now, we all understand that, of course, AI is going to create like a virtual workforce with software, chatbots, robotics. And of course, it's also going to enhance the existing workforce. And potentially, we're going to see an increase in innovation. So when you will look at the opportunity worldwide, this is what AI provides to us. Now, at the same time, we keep, looking at the popular press, and we see a lot of, skepticism around AI. Why AI? Why now? And why it is taking off in 2018? There are four major developments which have happened as of 2017, and that's why we say that AI is poised to take off extremely high in 2018. One is there's a mass adoption of AI, which is led by companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Netflix, Amazon, and there's a lot of investments which have happened in the past few years in AI and related technologies. You also are looking at the advent of what I term as conversational commerce. So we are seeing a rapid growth of chatbots coming into many major brands worldwide. We are seeing the advent of voice-based commerce coming up soon, and of course you would see that the smart digital assistants in the form of Alexa, Siri, Cortana, or Google Home coming from the big vendors, and they are also some of the, I would say, largest selling products when you look at worldwide in the electronics category. Now, when there is so much of hype around AI, of course, you are seeing a lot of governmental regulations coming in, a lot of what you can call calls for ethical AI. So if you had followed the recent World Economic Forum in Davos, you would have seen that AI has been the hottest and the topmost priorities for world leaders, including Prime Minister and Presidents, CEOs who attended the World Economic Forum. Now, we have seen that AI is, of course, quite important, is going to take off in 2018. Let's look at why is it so prominent and why is it so important. So when you look at what are the various enablers, we are looking at AI is able to provide relevance at scale for marketers. It's able to provide communication at scale, and of course it allows for instantaneous communication. It allows for you to experiment, and it allows you to collect all sorts of data. Now, what does it really mean? It means that till now we've been, as marketers, we look at saying that, hey, can we create a market of one? Can we create communications and advertising which is personalized to the level that it makes sense to a particular individual rather than just mass target them? And when you look at that, AI today provides marketers with all these capabilities. It allows you to create advertising which can reach particular individuals to their individual tastes rather than just addressing as a mass market. It allows you to do A/B testing across millions of communication messages. It allows you to programmatically buy, sell ads, create campaigns. We will see some examples as we move forward. So allowing marketers to do things at scale, allowing you personalization to be done at scale is why AI is becoming so prominent and being adopted by marketers worldwide. So what are the various impact areas? I have listed a few use cases. I term those as impact areas here. So essentially, we are looking at areas of content generation, lead generation, advertising, campaign optimization, recommender systems, and of course, around customer experiences as well. You are seeing that these are the high impact areas which are coming out as far as AI is concerned. It's true that there are also some other, I would say, areas emerging. Hello, sorry. So you would see that there are quite a vast impact of AI in the areas of marketing. For the purposes of today's presentation, of course, I'm just limiting myself to few of these areas, and I'm not deep diving at this point of time. Feel free to contact me later to understand use cases, technologies behind any of these impact areas. Now, quickly moving in terms of what are the various applications of AI, right? Again, in the interest of time, I've just taken 4 of the key applications. The first is chatbots powered by artificial intelligence. The second is around natural language generation. The third is around machine learning. And of course, the fourth is around computer vision. We do have other areas around neural networks. We have areas around robotics, robotic process automation. well, even drones, driverless cars, driverless trucks, all of them come under the category of AI. We will now look at a few of the areas which are impacted, especially in the field of marketing. And the first among them would be in terms of chatbots powered by artificial intelligence. So what do we mean by chatbots, right? I mean, chatbots have been there, I would say, for about 15, 20 years. You always see that in many of the older websites. But today, we are having chatbots are actually powered by AI, in the sense there has been a lot of connectivity, a lot of open source provided by companies like Google and Facebook. And today, it has come to a level that we can actually mimic human conversations using these various chatbots, right? Let me move on in terms of looking at an actual chatbot. What I have done is I have actually taken a video of my corporate bot just for the purposes of today's presentation. And let's try and run this bot. So you are seeing here an actual representation of a chatbot powered by artificial intelligence chatting with a particular customer. In this case, of course, I am chatting with the particular bot, and you would see the vivid use of images, emojis, text, videos, and the chatbot provides a very rich customer experience to the prospect or the customer who's chatting with the chatbot. And all of this can be done within the premise of a particular messaging platform. It could be Facebook Messenger, it could be, for example, Twitter, it could be Telegram, and of course, Slack as well. I mean, of course, since you're on Buffer's Slack community, you would have seen multiple bots which operate out over there. So compared to last year to this year, we are now seeing hundreds and thousands of bots which are actually enterprise grade, launched by many companies, including some of the leading restaurant chains. We have Starbucks launching its own corporate bots. I'm also at an Asia Pacific level as well. I'm seeing a lot of companies adopting it at a mass level. So going back to my earlier slide where I mentioned that chatbot conversational commerce is leading the pack as far as AI adoption is going, this is a representation as to how exactly a particular chatbot is created around a human-centered design. Let me just quickly move in terms of natural language generation, which is completely, again, I would say a new area where most of us know what natural language generation is. But for the first time, and I tested this with a couple of vendors, and I could see the power of natural language generation in action. Before I continue, I'd like to play a video, a very popular car commercial, and we will discuss on this particular case study at the end of this video. Okay, so what you saw here is called as the Toyota Mirai. It's called the car of the future by Toyota. It actually runs on hydrogen fuel cells. It supposedly gets about 312 miles on a full tank. It only emits water vapor, of course, because the input is only water. And what Toyota wanted to do was to sell this particular car to tech and science enthusiasts worldwide. But they really wanted to personalize this and wanted to ensure that each one of the particular prospects who is seeing the ad has a very personalized experience. So what they did, they worked with their ad agency and of course with another artificial intelligence company to really create thousands of ads, and they trained it for a period of, I would say, about 3 months. And at the end of the day, the particular artificial intelligence system could create multiple campaigns. The ad that you just saw, the video you just saw, is one of them. But there have been thousands of such ads which have been released on Facebook through Facebook ads, and has been targeted at tech and science enthusiasts worldwide. So as you can see, the impact that even creating a campaign, creating the particular pictures, the text you saw, the phrases you saw in the particular video, all of them were actually created by the AI. So the impact of this is that the marketers could now do A/B testing, not just with a few variations, but potentially with millions of variations using an AI system. And it has been pretty successful. And I understand that they would possibly come up with similar sort of campaigns given the success of this particular campaign. So we have seen a live example of how natural language generation has actually been done by a particular AI with very little, or I would say no human intervention at all. Now, I'll just move on to the next particular, I would say, case study. You're seeing two stories on the video screen. Story number 1 and story number 2, of course, are around Walt Disney. And this is an example of a news article which has been released. And you can look at it and you can think to yourself, which of these has been created by a human journalist or a content marketer, and which of these has been actually been created by an AI system. You would see that the one on the right side is the one created by a human journalist, whereas the one on the left has actually been created by a NLG, an AI system. It doesn't really look much different. And today you have companies, organizations like Reuters, you have Yahoo, many of them are using this particular AI system to create this sort of content. Human generated articles are now getting replaced by AI generated articles. In fact, worldwide, many of us, when we read these news articles, we are not even aware that these have actually been created by these various AI systems. And this particular example I have taken by a company called Automated Insights, and their particular product is Wordsmith. I have actually tested it for the purposes of my own business and for my own customers. And surprisingly, it is easy, and of course, it is much powerful. So one of the, I would say, cases where I have been trying out and talking to, let's say, insurance companies out in Singapore is where I keep saying that we all get credit card statements, and usually it's a very dry, you have a bunch of lines of text with some dollar figures to that. You could now replace that with a customized letter to every customer, and where you could say, for example, saying that, hey, hello, Mr. or Ms. X, here we are having a particular credit statement of yours, and you have spent X amount of dollars. We seem to be seeing a trend of you spending so much on certain shops or particular cities, and we would like to, extend an offer or a coupon for whatever price. And this particular letter can actually be customized for every individual, and that's the power of an AI system. So moving on in terms of the NLG systems to actually machine learning. Again, I have a video out here. I won't play it for a long time. This is more an example of an video that I created using one of the AI systems. And after the video runs for a few seconds, I will intervene and I will tell you how the AI actually helped me creating this particular video. So as you can see out in this particular video, this was actually created using an AI system. And I just wrote a blog post around how restaurants use chatbots. And this particular blog post was fed into the AI system. The videos you see, the images you see, the coloring you see out on this particular video was completely created by the AI. And the music was suggested by the AI system. And within a few minutes, I could create a completely professional looking video without the help of any external agency. This is, of course, by far a very simple example as to where AI could help. But I just wanted to show to this particular audience in terms of how there is a level playing field that an AI provides to even SMEs like myself to compete with the big boys who have, I would say, possibly millions or even hundreds of millions of dollars on technology or ad budgets. So now, a very interesting thing is around computer vision. This is, of course, not related directly to the marketing discipline, but when you look at a recent article in the MIT Technology Review, it goes so far to state that AI is today officially better than radiologists at finding abnormalities in X-rays. To the extent the article has been again pretty loud and vocal in saying that maybe we should stop training radiologists by some of the prominent AI researchers. Now, of course, I don't see that getting adopted so soon without of course a lot of government agencies coming in, and maybe there are some more trials which are required. But the fact is that AI, when marketers want to adopt, especially around image recognition or video recognition, you are now having different AI systems which can do a lot of work at a scale which is just we cannot imagine with just a human team which is out there. There have been some, I would say, patents lodged by companies like Facebook and Google, where they are actually saying that they can track a particular user based upon the sort of photos that they take, the amount of dust which is on your camera. So if any of you want to know how these things are done by these companies, of course, feel free to reach out to me. I can't cover all of this in today's presentation, but I would be happy to share that information with you. Let me, before continuing in terms of the other technologies, let's just look at a particular AI system called Albert. I reached out to this particular company. They're based in New York City, and it is run by a company called Algorithmics. And the whole purpose of Albert is to really run marketing on an end-to-end basis. And when you see what is inside Albert's brain, you would see that everything from, I would say, journey discovery to competitive trends, the analysis insights of a customer's journey, to creating a campaign, testing the campaign, optimizing the campaign, and of course, also going as far as allocating budgets, running these ads, collecting the data. Albert supposedly can do the entire work that a particular marketer could do as far as a digital campaign goes. And when you look at what is the success of this particular AI system, Harley-Davidson in New York City actually has seen a jump of close to 3,000% in lead generation, to the extent that they are obviously hiring a new team just to handle the leads. And they say that 40% of all new sales are directly attributed to the particular AI system. So recently, when I did a keynote in Singapore around AI and I was addressing the marketers, I did tell them that AI is not only trying to take over very specific areas of the marketing discipline, but even as an end-to-end marketing discipline, there are a lot of such jobs which are going to vanish, where it's just going to be like, say, a back-end job, where it's repetitive jobs. So it's really up to us marketers to up our game, literally be aware as to what is really happening as far as the AI market space is concerned, and really learn where AI is progressing. Because with or without, I would say, a segment of the population agreeing to AI, AI's advances are going to be far rapid over the next few years. Of course, I would say the biggest elephant in the room is what is it going to mean as far as careers and jobs for marketers are concerned. The challenges that I see, and these are not technical challenges, the challenges are three foremost as I see. One is in terms of the skill sets. The skill sets, you can't really acquire them by simple training or simple products. It really requires a big leap in terms of how you would want to enhance your skill sets in an AI-powered world. The second is in terms of outsourced search and decision. Right from the days I did my B school, marketing has always been about the customer. How do you reach another human being, whether through the 4 P's of marketing or core competence or competitive advantage? N number of marketing theories and propositions, value propositions, customer propositions we've been working on. But the challenge today is, with the rise of chatbots, with the rise of smart digital assistants, we are seeing that customers are no longer outsourcing, in terms of doing the work themselves. They're actually outsourcing their decisions to these particular AI systems. So you would be seeing ads from Amazon, for example, where you're seeing people talking to Alexa and saying, hey, Alexa, can you buy me a product? Now, unless the customer specifies that I need a specific brand, it is actually a dangerous situation, because Alexa could decide to buy your brand, your product from your store, or it could just decide to buy a product, a brand from any store, or maybe even from any other country. So essentially, as a marketer, you are now not marketing to a particular human being as a customer. You potentially need to start thinking in terms of how to actually market to other AI systems. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to evolve, because we are going to use AI systems to market. Customers are going to outsource their particular buying decisions to AI. So we are seeing a future where AI systems are going to really, talk to other AI systems. And of course, the final challenge is the high consumer expectations set by companies like Facebook and Google. They are coming out with newer services, newer products based upon, of course, the AI and machine learning investments that they have done. You are soon seeing larger enterprises following the same footsteps. And what is happening because of that? Because consumers are getting exposed to newer products, newer services. They are now starting to demand the same level of services, the same level of new product development and introduction by other companies as well. So as far as marketers are concerned, I would say these would be the top three, challenges. Now, how does AI benefit marketers? I wouldn't want to go into too much details out here. It's up to marketers to take up the leadership and prove to the C-level, their bosses, that it does help save time. AI helps you to integrate data across your organization. We call it analytics on analytics. Of course, it helps you heavily personalize your offers. And of course, it also helps you to come with a simpler way of interacting with the customer. So what can you really do? I'm just on the last two slides. So what can you really do out here is, as marketers, I would strongly suggest start incrementally adopting AI. Don't completely move away from AI. Maybe it's just as simple as, adopting chatbots for your personal use, or maybe adopting chatbots for your organization. And from then on, investigate and explore what else you could really, as an organization or as an individual, or possibly even as a business owner, you want to adopt AI. Be clear in terms of the KPIs. Don't get led by the hype. You need to have your metrics very clear in place. You need to have the key performance indicators in place, and only then proceed with your investments in AI. Don't shy away from the technology. Please know the technology. Be aware of what is AI, and don't get really, you don't have to shy away from the technology which is out over there, because AI is getting simplified on a day-to-day basis. In fact, just yesterday, Google launched a completely new initiative by which machine learning could be done on their Google Cloud. And of course, fourth is work with the experts, right? Don't try to do everything on your own. Try to outsource some stuff. Work with, potentially people who can build you this AI-powered chatbot. Talk to people in Google or Facebook. And of course, maybe locally, you may be knowing these experts. Start working with them. I often have faced this particular question: where do I start? What do I learn? There are enormous, humongous amount of learning and knowledge available. I would point you to the courses on Coursera. It is free. And of course, I'm sure there are paid courses and certificate courses, but there are definitely a lot of free courses that are around neural networks, deep learning, machine learning. In fact, some of them are actually taught by Andrew Ng, whom I referred in my earlier slide. And of course, some of the more famous books, the most famous is of course around artificial intelligence, a modern approach by Stuart Russell and Peter Norvig, right? So I was just discussing, with Sandhya in terms of, what should be an offer where people could really do. So I don't want to be really salesy around over here, but in case if you are very interested, if you want to, start with AI, what I could offer for the Buffer folks is start off with an AI-powered FAQ chatbot and a complete marketing AI ebook, which is coming out soon from my side. Send me an email. Just put the subject line as Buffer offer, and we can actually see what is the best way for you to get this starter pack going forward. My final slide: the world needs superheroes, and I would assume that's you. And today, let it be the start of your journey around AI for marketing. Thank you.